With everything going on in cruising today, with canceled cruises, with the weather that plays a factor, more than ever travel insurance is important. And so today we're going to change things up a bit. I am going to tell you the top 5 reasons that you need to have travel insurance. And I'm also going to make things a little bit fun and tell you the 5 top reasons that people don't get travel insurance. Lots to talk about together today. Let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Thursday. It's January 16th of 2025. And right off, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell next to it, because that will make it so that every time we upload a video, you will receive a notification. Also, if you appreciate my updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? We really appreciate your support, and I try very hard to make it worthwhile for you to be here. So let's talk about the insurance situation. Yesterday, we had the announcement from Princess Cruises that the sailing on April 28th of the Regal Princess was canceled. Again and again and again, we hear of flight cancellations along the way when people are traveling to get to cruises or on other travel. And then along the way, so many things can happen that we would never think of. And so here are the top 5 reasons that you need to have travel insurance. And part of travel insurance is indeed medical. So the number one reason that you need to have travel insurance is for medical emergencies. Now, I know that sometimes people go on a trip, they board a cruise ship, they go on a tour, they simply board a plane to go to an all-inclusive resort, whatever it is, and they feel like they are the picture of health, that nothing is going wrong, nothing should be expected to go wrong as far as medical experiences on their trip. And then we also have people who travel and are just out there living their best life, but they know that they have some risk factors. Either way, things happen that surprise us all. That's why they call it a medical emergency. So when you are on board a cruise ship or you are at an all-inclusive resort, there are going to be limited resources to take care of you. So if what is wrong with you, they're able to manage there, you're going to be okay. But if not, you are going to have to be evacuated from a cruise ship to whatever medical facility is closest that will accept you. Along with that can come a lot of expense. And so that is the number one reason that you need to have travel insurance. Even if you feel like you can accept the risk and manage it in your life of having to cancel your cruise and not getting that money back, having to be emergency evacuated or receive medical care in another country can become very expensive very quickly. And so have travel insurance for that. The second is for trip cancellation or interruption. Now, trip cancellation happens when you're within that final payment window and something comes up that makes it so that you cannot travel. That could range everything from a death in your family to illness that makes it so you cannot travel. If you don't have insurance, you're going to lose some of your money depending on how close you are to when your ship sails. This can also apply when you book non-refundable hotel rooms, or once you're within that window that you can no longer cancel your hotel room or your flight or your all-inclusive, whatever it is. So having that trip cancellation or interruption insurance is really, really important. The trip interruption, lots of things can go wrong, to flight interruptions, to weather interruptions, all kinds of things, and that has you covered in that instance as well. So as long as you're going to have that medical insurance coverage, you may as well have that trip interruption. Next up, we sometimes forget, we travel with luggage, and sometimes we travel with just a checked bag, but more often than not, we travel actually checking some luggage. Still, in this day and age, even with using air tags, luggage can become lost. And if it becomes lost for very long, you're going to have to start replacing things that were in your luggage that you need to have, whether it's essential things like your toothbrush was in there or your clothing that you need to be able to change your clothes sometimes. That is an expense that will be covered by your travel insurance if you've got it. The next thing is missed connections. Now, I want everybody to listen really closely here, because flights are a really interesting sector to me of the whole travel industry. This whole business of being able to book non-refundable flights. You can book refundable flights so that if you can't go, you have to cancel, you're going to get your money back like as an e-credit. Or when you book your flight, you can book it with insurance so that if you can't go, you'll just get a refund of your money back to your credit card. And it's amazing to me how poorly that is managed so often, because all of us think nothing's going to come up, but sometimes things do come up. And so if you book your plane tickets and they are non-refundable, or you book them and for example, you're partway through your flight and then a flight is canceled, then you have to make a different flight, spend more money to be able to get where you're going to go. Or if you miss your cruise because your flights were canceled and now you're going to need more flights in order to be able to get to meet the ship somewhere, you're going to want to have insurance to cover that. Now, if you've got your flights booked, for example, with Princess Easy Air and you miss the ship, the deal is they're supposed to get you to the ship at the next port. But in all honesty, that depends on what that next port looks like, how many flights are going there, the whole situation. Sometimes people have missed their Alaska cruise and the next port is not soon enough, or there are not flights going to get you there in time, so you've just missed your cruise. And so that whole trip, the whole missed connections and the whole flight part is a really important reason to have some insurance as well. The other thing that I want you to think about when you think of cancellations and things that could happen during the course of your trip, sometimes people are on a cruise or some other trip and they've got excursions booked either at the all-inclusive or through Viator, or they've gone and booked through the cruise line and they just get sick. Not something so sick that they have to go to the medical center, but something that makes it so that they can't go on their excursion for the day. Your travel insurance covers for these things. So just putting that out there, that there are a lot of little nuances of things that your insurance will cover if you just think about it. Number 5 is weather and natural disasters. So weather does not only impact flights, it can impact cruises. It can make it so that the cruise you're supposed to depart on, the ship is late getting back into port, and you have to either embark a couple of days later so that you have to get a hotel for a couple of nights, or you're on that ship that is late getting back into port and you have to now get all new flights. There's all of these things that go into weather situations that can make it so that you are suddenly out money. So that is the 5th reason that you should go ahead and get that travel insurance. And every time we have a cruise line cancel a ship, every time there is a major storm, it always comes up that people have lost money here and there. And honestly, I feel really bad inside because I want them to know you need to get travel insurance. And so here are the 5 reasons why people generally don't. So in the comments, I want to hear from all of you. I want to hear if you get travel insurance. I want to know, if you don't mind telling, like where you get it. Around here, Gordon and I get an annual policy through Allianz. We do pay close attention to how much of trip coverage is included per trip for Gordon and I. So you can, on the executive plan on that carrier, you can increase or decrease that. There are lots of travel insurance companies, and I don't advocate for one. I don't own stock in one. So I am not an insurance broker, so I am not giving you counsel on what company to go with. I just know that it's a really big deal. So let's go to the next thing about why people don't get insurance. And if you don't get insurance, and there's no judging around here, by the way, if you don't get travel insurance, put it in the comments and I won't think any more or less of you, just like I won't think any more or less of the people that do get travel insurance. And we all need to do that because we help each other around here. Everybody thinks of different things and it helps all of us. So first of all, a perceived high cost. So I know it's another budget item when you are looking at how expensive your trip is going to be when you're going to go. I know this. I tell people how much a cruise is going to cost and then how much the insurance is going to be to go with that. And I think sometimes people just think, everything will be okay. I'm not going to worry about it this time. I'll save that much money. And so when you really look at everything that it will cover, to me, it's not a high cost, but everybody manages the risk differently. So you have to look and see what it means to you. But that's the number one reason people don't get insurance, is they think it costs too much. And along with that I just kind of talked about, number 2 is the belief that they won't need it. They'll just say, well, I'm just fine. I'll be careful. Everything's going to be okay. I've got the cruise booked, or the wherever we're going booked. I've got refundable flights. We are good to go. And they don't consider all of the risk. Then the 3rd reason people don't buy travel insurance, and this is very important, the existing coverage misconceptions. So they think that they have coverage that they really don't have. And so make sure that you really do know what coverage you have, whether it's with a travel policy that you've bought, whether it is travel insurance provided by your credit card. Don't just take your credit card's word at saying we've got you covered. No, make sure that you know what the limits of the coverages are and actually what is covered under your policy. So no matter where you get your insurance or think you're getting your insurance, make sure that you know what you really do have so that you're not left exposed as far as risk goes when you didn't mean to be. Number 4, lack of awareness. I know sometimes people don't even think about that. And honestly, in the very beginning, when we first started a cruise, I didn't really think about it either. The very first time we went, I just got insurance because Gordon thought it was a good idea. And I was like, okay, sounds good. But the more I learn about it, the more I see, both from experiencing things with my own clients to experience just reading of other people's experiences, I become more and more aware that it really can be such a lifesaver. And then the number 5 reason that people don't get travel insurance is because they feel like it's just a short trip, or it's just pretty much a domestic trip. I'm just sailing out of Florida. I've got great insurance. It will be close to Florida. If we need anything, it'll be just fine. So make sure that you know, once again, what is covered in your insurance, how it's going to work if you actually need to use it. Have the phone number with you for your travel insurance in case you're on a trip and you actually have to use it or have a question for them. And I know that it's harder. It takes more time to figure all of this out. But when we travel, aware of what's going on, when something happens, which is really the time that you need help, then you'll know what you're doing. And so just putting this out there, let me know, like I said in the comments, what you've learned about insurance, travel insurance, who you've got yours through, what you think about it all, and we'll have a really great discussion in the comments. So thank you all so very much, and I'll see you here again tomorrow, and I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.